we've interviewed on the platform 2 or 3 times a woman called Candace Owens. And Candace Owens is one of those YouTube podcast people from the States, quite famous, Candace Owens, quite famous for being right of centre, an outspoken black woman who, in terms of social media in the States and influence in the States, a big deal, a big noise. She got fired from a thing called the Daily Wire and kind of went out on her own, Tucker Carlson aligned in some ways, and she was kind enough to talk to me. She was going to come down under. And the Australians say, oh, you're a terrible person, you're a Nazi, we won't have you in Australia, we won't give you a visa. And this was last year. And New Zealand said the same. And the Free Speech Union here went into bat for Candace Owens, and I advocated too, because I believe in freedom of speech, and I believe in the right to hear views, even those that you don't agree with. And I believe in that principle. And our government, Chris Pink, I think it was, quite rightly kind of intervened, and the officials said, no, Candace Owens can come here. And she was selling tickets to an event that was meant to be held earlier this year at about $100 a pop. I think it was going to be out in West Auckland. At some stage, her people actually wondered if I wanted to introduce her and take part in that event. But because she was still banned in Australia, and the court case over her visa denial in Australia started at the High Court in Australia, I think in Sydney yesterday, and the outcome of that is unknown. But in the meantime, well, she postponed or cancelled her New Zealand event, and some funny things have happened with refunds. And all I can say is the best I can get out of the people, and I can't get through directly to Candace Owens. All these people have layers of folk around them. I've heard she's coming here in January of 2026. So what happens to all those people who've paid $100 to watch her earlier this year? And have they got their money back, or what's happening? We're joined now by Juanita, who is one such person. Juanita, welcome to the platform. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry it's a
Good
little
morning.
bit later than we planned.
No problem, Sean. Good morning. How are you?
Good, okay. So initially, you're going to go and see Candace Owens. When was the initial gig meant to be?
It was the 14th of November initially.
Last year?
Yes, last year. And as you said, it was cancelled. And then Chris Pink went into bat, which was great. So the next show was end of February. So, but we'd already put in for our refunds, thinking it was just totally cancelled. So
okay, so you bought tickets at what, $100 a pop?
That's right, yes.
For 14th November, you thought it was cancelled, and that was through an outfit called Ticket Booth, who are basically just a middleman agency, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so you apply for a refund when?
More or less straight away, and that refund, we were told, was going to be paid to us 6th of December last year.
Oh, and that was from Ticket Booth? They said that there would be a refund?
Yes, they did. We were under the impression that it was just, a matter of applying for it and we would receive it.
Okay, fair enough. And then if she came back, you could buy another ticket. Sounds good. What happened after that, though?
Well, that's exactly what we did. Because we really wanted to see her and we didn't want to miss out, we actually bought new tickets thinking...
Oh, did they then... So they refunded the...
Sean, they didn't. They didn't refund it. But as I say, we were very, very keen to go. So we bought some new tickets. Just we thought, we would be refunded.
I just want to get this clear. So they cancelled the first thing, and then did they create a new event you could buy tickets for, which was the February one?
28th, yes, that's correct.
So they were two separate gigs?
Yes.
And the first one, okay. Did you ever get a refund for the first gig? The November?
No.
And I'm not going to say stupid Juanita, but you then, before you've got the refund for the November gig, you pay another $100 for the February gig?
Yes, well, look, one of our friends, I'm based in Christchurch, one of our friends thought that would be, they were told they were getting the refund, so I agreed as well, and so she did. So we didn't want to miss out. And of course, coming
Okay,
from
you
Christchurch,
couldn't apply the
had
refund as a credit for the next set of tickets. It was new money.
new money.
Okay, and how much for each ticket?
It's about $100.
Okay, so you're 200 in the hole, you personally, for 2 tickets. Okay, what happened then? When was the February one cancelled?
Well, I'm just trying to recall that. Probably a week or two, actually, Sean, before end of February.
Yeah.
All this while we've been communicating, getting responses, but it's just wait, and then giving us a new date.
And who are the responses from? Who are you communicating with at this stage?
Well, that's as you ticket booth initially, and then they've washed their hands of it, and so now dealing directly with the Candace Owens team.
Well, there's an outfit called Roxford, I think it is, or Roxham Promotions or Communications, because I talked to Ticket Booth in Australia last night.
Okay.
Now, Ticket Booth in Australia say, we never saw that money. It went straight through to Roxham Communications, who are the agents for the event representing Candace Owens. I can't find the hide nor hair of that company, right?
Wow, okay.
Okay. They say, the people at Ticket Booth in Australia say, oh, the Candace Owens people are being really cooperative. I said, could you give me their numbers and names? No, I don't think I could do that. So this is now worse than I thought. So you never got refunded for the February event. And
no.
So that's outstanding. And you have for the November event.
November.
And you have and you've paid the money and you haven't been refunded for the February event.
No.
Jeez. And what are they telling you? I understand that an email's gone out to people from the Candace Owens live team. What does that say?
Look, I don't have that. Looking at it right now, sorry, Sean.
Look, I've got it here. I think I've got it here on my phone. I'll just read it out. And I just want your response to what it says, because I think I know what most people will think. Hang on, let me just search for this. Yeah. So here's what that says. Dear valued supporters, we sincerely appreciate your unwavering patience and understanding during this exceptionally challenging period. As you may know, Candace Owens' visa application is currently entangled in an ongoing legal process. Well, that's only for Australia. With a High Court hearing scheduled for 6th of May 2025. It's just begun. Despite the significant operational hurdles we face, we remain committed to making this tour a reality for all of you. Blah, blah. While the outreach to ticket holders mentioned in our previous statement was essential and conducted with good intentions, it has fortunately resulted in considerable delays in processing refunds. We are truly sorry for the additional delays that have extended beyond the previously communicated date of the 30th of April 2025. Oh, we recognise how frustrating this is. We want to clarify Ticket Booth not responsible for these delays. They've acted with professionalism and efficiency. We kindly ask that any concerns be directed to us as the event promoter at info@candacelive.com.au. Well, I guess that's where we go next. But fundamentally, Juanita, you haven't been refunded for the first tickets or the second tickets, and the best we can get is that she might be in New Zealand in 2026, right?
Well, that's all very well for her, but you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one that was coming from outside of Auckland to see her, and it's not that convenient. So, you know, just pay. We just want the money back, and then we'll decide. In fact, I don't think, you know, what this has demonstrated, you know, even if it's the team representing her, you know, she stands for honesty, integrity, transparency, and doing the right thing, and that just makes her out to look completely inauthentic. Beg your
let's be
pardon?
honest, she stands for grifting off the internet, Juanita. I think that's what this tells us.
Well, look, all I was keen, and, my friends were keen to go and see someone at a forum where, there was free speech. That's
Yep.
the basis for us because, for so long there wasn't really anything like that happening. And thank you to you for your program because you're certainly one of the very few, that will talk on many subjects. So, look, absolutely disappointed. Yes, want to get a refund, but at the end of the day, it's just so disappointing about her and her
Well,
team.
I am going to keep chasing this story. I do support free speech, but I don't support people being ripped off.
Oh, gosh,
And
no.
I hate to say this sounds awfully. It's got all. I'm an old fair go reporter, Juanita. This sounds horribly like a scam. Oh, just hang on. No, it's all under control. It doesn't sound good.
I totally agree with you, Sean, and you have to wonder if that's happened to a much larger venue in Australia. They probably don't have the money. If they had the money, I'm sure that they would.
Maybe she's using. And look, I'll tell you what. The people from Ticket Booth were quite explicit. They said we never saw any of this money. It went straight to her agents. Right? They clip the ticket for the number of things they get in, I imagine, but they never got, your money never went to Ticket Booth. And then I said, how many people bought tickets for the New Zealand event? And they wouldn't share that with me.
I totally agree with you.
It doesn't
looks like
feel
a duck,
good.
etc.
It doesn't feel good. And I think if you're an outsider, you'd say, oh, don't think you're going to see your $200 again, Juanita. I'll tell you what I'll do this morning. And I'll put this out on social. I want to hear from other people. I want to get a feeling for how big this problem is in New Zealand. And in any case, if you booked, see, you've done it. I hate to say it, Juanita. You and your mates are a bit. Some people might call you mugs for falling for this twice, for buying the second lot of tickets before you got the refund for the first lot of tickets. Right?
Yeah.
Do you accept that? Okay, I'm not being mean. I'm just calling it like I see it.
Well, look, it was just circumstances. We're all busy running businesses and things like that. So, and, look, this is in hindsight, but totally agree with you. With all these delays, that suggests to me that you're correct. So, and I do appreciate you. And look, one of the reasons why I came on this morning was just to encourage other people to chase them as well and not just give up.
Yeah, well, look,
so,
we will get on to the story. I'd love to hear from other people, and we'll get this out in social media, other people who are waiting for their refunds. There might be a legal case you can take, though I hate to say it.
Oh, gosh,
and
no.
To be honest, you know where your power is on this, Juanita? Your power is on social media and calling her out on social media.
Totally agree, Sean.
And she should give the bloody money back. We know she's making plenty of it. Yep.
Absolutely, yeah. It would be great to get to the bottom of it.
Okay,
actually,
if you knew she was coming for sure, would you go and see her now?
Not now. Not after this.
I hear you.
Not after this, no. And it's not the money, it's not the money, it's just the whole, it's just not right.
Yeah.
And, it's just not right.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Juanita. Thanks for your time. I'll stay in touch. We won't
Lovely.
let this go.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Thanks.
That is Juanita. $200 down the hole to Candace Owens. If you have had problems with your Candace Owens tickets, and I'll be honest, I've had problems with Candace Owens people and getting straight answers out of them in Australia. So damn it, let's get those people. Let's get Juanita's money back, shall we? I'll have a think about this. We'll get into it.